What's up, y'all? We are here in Mexico City. We are at the Tianguis. And so, what exactly is a Tianguis, right? So the word derives from the Nahuatl word Tianguitztli. In Spanish, it's translated into mercado, which in English is market. And please correct me if I said that incorrect. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Let me know in the comments. And who were the speakers of Nahuatl? Those were the Aztecs. Those were the people who were in Mexico before, in the pre-Hispanic era, which was pre-colonization. And so way back in the day, the Tianguis was a place of community. It was a place where people would come, hang out with their friends, with their families, and it was a place where you could buy goods. It started off as a bartering system. By barter, I mean you could barter with tools, you could barter with blankets, because there was no currency at the time. And as time went on, as things evolved, currency was implemented, which resembles the modern day Tianguis that's right behind us. What exactly is the difference between a Tianguis and a market? Tianguis aren't the same as mercados or markets. What I mean by that is, yes, a Tianguis technically is a market, but here in Mexico, it's not a public market. The main difference between the two are that the public markets have a set storefront, they're open daily, versus the Tianguis are only open one day a week, and they're set in stalls and built out on the street, as you can see behind us. Ooh, and there's over 1,000, yes, that is right, 1,000 Tianguis here in Mexico City, versus for the public markets, there's only a little over 300. And with all that said, I am starving, so let's go get some food and let's check out the Tianguis. All right, so here you can find almost anything. You can find food, clothes, produce. There's so much stuff here, I can't even name it all, to be honest. But we're here to get tacos, so let's go do that. We have arrived. Right behind me is Barbacoa Don Pepe. And what are we gonna get there? Barbacoa. Let's check it out. The food has finally arrived. I am so excited. I'll show you guys right now. Here we have our tacos de barbacoa. Moving over this way, what exactly is this that we have here? This is called consome. And so what is it? It is a soup, yes, but it's more of a broth made from stock. It has garbanzo beans. Here, I'll show y'all right now, if I can get some. Here we go, so y'all can see. One interesting thing about this is that it actually originated from France. It did not originate from Spain nor the Aztecs. Now moving on over here, we have our juice, and it is mango and orange juice. This is just a juice, honestly. There's no history behind this. What exactly is a barbacoa taco, right? Where does the word come from? Is it just a word? So it turns out that barbacoa was actually a method of cooking used by the Aztecs, where they dug a hole in the ground, and from there they put wood in the hole, set it on fire, placed a stone on top, and then from there what they would do is wrap the meat in a banana leaf or a maguey leaf, which comes from the maguey plant. And from there they would place the meat wrapped in the leaves on the top of the stone, and they would cook the meat that way. And so that was barbacoa. In modern times, barbacoa now just more refers to the process of the meat being slowly cooked. It's no longer the hole in the ground. I mean, you might be able to find it somewhere, but generally speaking, when you come to the Tianguis, the meat is not cooked in a hole or prepared that way. It's just slow cooked meat on a grill. The meat used in this part of Mexico for barbacoa is lamb. It depends if you're in the north, if you're in the south, it could definitely differ. Sometimes they use beef, it really just depends. But here, we're eating lamb. So I don't know if y'all noticed, but if you look right here, the tortilla is actually blue. So there's a reason for that, right? The reason for that is that it comes from blue corn. There's several different types of corn. There's yellow corn, there's white corn, and you have blue corn. But blue corn, interestingly enough, is healthier for you. Why is that? It has more antioxidants, it has protein, and I don't know about y'all, but I had no idea that corn had protein. So for all y'all gym people out there, if protein is your goal, blue corn might be your best bet when eating corn products. Another interesting fact is that Blue corn is actually 70% more expensive than yellow and white corn. So why exactly is that? They say that it's more difficult to grow because a lot of the times the seeds are bad, so they don't produce any yield, they don't produce any plant, nothing. And even if the plant is successful, they say that it has a higher chance of falling over, meaning it's less stable. And on top of that, the last reason is that even if the seed produces the plant, there's a chance that the plant might not produce any corn at all. And because of all of those factors, there's actually a shortage of blue corn, which is why it's 70% more expensive than the other types of corn. And before we dive into these tacos, let's dress them up a little bit. Throw a little salsa on there. Throw a little bit of onions and cilantro. I'm gonna put a little bit of lime. Voila. There we go, we have our taco. Also, just a quick tip, so I don't know if this is actually correct, but I met a family who told me to do the same thing with the consomme. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a little bit of red salsa, I'm gonna put it in like that. Next, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna take some cilantro and onion. Take a new lime because why not? And one other tip they gave me was to actually take a little bit of barbacoa and put it in there for flavoring. Mix it up nice and neat. Ooh, we are ready. I think we are ready to eat. All right, taste test time. If you've ever tasted lamb, it has very distinct flavor. It's almost a little gamey. It's very distinct. It's smooth though. The way in which they cook it here, at least, it's very smooth, very tender. It's fresh. It's honestly, I mean, that's why we're here, right? Overall, I'd give it 10 out of 10. The blue corn tacos are different. They're a little drier. They soak up the grease a little more. It's a slightly different taste. If you're not a tortilla connoisseur, you might not notice the difference. Right, here we are. Delicious. In the consomme, you can taste the broth, kind of the stock. You can taste the onions, the cilantro, the salsa, the barbacoa that's been kind of marinating for a little bit. It has a little bit of a spicy taste. Also, it's pretty salty, but everything goes great. It goes great with the Barbacoa Tacos. So on that note, I'm gonna enjoy this meal real quick. All right, so we're on our way to our next location, but one thing I want to do is stop and say that also at the Tianguis, just outside of where we were in the market area, there's a whole art area, a lot of beautiful art. One thing to check out if you're here. Our next stop is something savory. It's delicious. It's one of my favorites. It's birria. So our next stop, we're going to Roma Norte. Let's get out of here. All right, so for our next stop, we are here in the center of the city in Roma Norte at my favorite spot for birria. Birria estilo Jalisco. Birria originally comes from the state of Jalisco. And what is it exactly? It's a consomme, it's a soup that's made with a bunch of different spices, onions, you can add chile, salsa, and at least in this part of Mexico, it has lamb, but it can also be made with a variety of different meats. So it could be made with beef, it could be made with chicken. And I'll show y'all what we're ordering right now. So we ordered birria and tacos de birria. Taste test time. If I had to describe the flavor in a few words, I would say that it's a variety. You can really taste the peppers, especially the chile. It's not too spicy. And also, that depends on how many chiles you add or how much salsa. You can really taste the array of spices. There's a very strong flavor of the lamb that isn't overpowering by any means. It accompanies it perfectly. I would say texture-wise, it's almost silky, if I were to describe it. All in all, it's a meal that's perfect for any time of the day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, any time of the year. And with all that said, let's try the birria tacos. All right, here we are. These are amazing. It's literally an explosion of flavor. The minute you bite into it, the meat is perfectly cooked. It's not dry at all. It's super juicy. And there's another ingredient, so it's more or less it's a mole mixed with all sorts of spices. It's really the essence of the birria, gives it that really deep taste. And it's the thing that really brings all the ingredients together and really makes it the birria. As y'all can see, I get very excited about birria. By the way, this is not a paid sponsorship. I just love this place that much. Cheers, y'all. All right, so that was delicious, but we are not done yet. Next up is Tacubaya. wanted to take a quick stop here just in case any of y'all were curious about how to get around aside from rideshare apps, aside from walking, biking. So where we're at right now is the metro, and it's a great way to get around. Public transportation here in Mexico City is very efficient. With that said, I will say use your best judgment, use caution always. Research where you're going ahead of time, especially if you're not already familiar with the area. During the daytime, it tends to be safer, but again, really it just depends on the area. Some stops are safer than others, just like any other place, but again, just use your best judgment. And with that said, let's go get a Metro card and let's head over to Tacubaya. Super easy to buy a Metro card. You can see we can pick English, we pick Spanish, we can also pick French. And what we're gonna do is click buy card. Are you buying a new card? We're gonna click yes. And we are going to insert our money into the bottom like this. And apparently this machine doesn't give change. And we're gonna click continue. And we're waiting. And just like that, we have a new Metro card. All right, let's go. All right, so for our final stop, we are here in Tacubaya at a family-owned puesto called Pescados y Mariscos Puerto Escondido. For our last stop, we're gonna go just a little bit lighter. We got Mariscos. And so what exactly is Mariscos? Really, it's just a mixture of seafood, and we've already ordered. So first up on the taste test list is this tostada de ceviche, which is really just a tostada, which is a tortilla. It's dry, and it has a mixture of different fish, avocado, salsa. Oh, and one quick thing to note. So if you're not a huge fan of mayo, they put mayo usually on the tostadas and on a few other things. So if you don't want that, just ask for sin mayonesa, which just means no mayo. And with that said, let's do a taste test. If I had to describe it in a few words, I would say that all the ingredients are very fresh. The fish is very fresh. You can really taste the onions, the cilantro, and the tomatoes. The salsa really kind of gives it really unites all the flavors and brings them together. It gives it a little bit of spice, not overpowering or anything. Oh, the avocados, very buttery, again, very fresh. And one other thing you could do is add a little bit of lime. It really kind of just tops everything off. And now, let's try the empanada. I ordered an empanada de camarones, which is a shrimp empanada. It has a lot of the same ingredients as the tostada. It has cilantro, onion, salsa, and shrimp. So at first bite, very fresh. The empanada is still warm. It's like a flaky pastry bread. Shrimp are incredibly fresh. Again, the onion, the cilantro, the salsa kind of really aren't really distinct flavors. They all kind of work in unison together. Overall, delicious. All right, and last one, the filete, which is really just fried fish. Threw a little bit of salsa on it and lime, and let's see how it is. Perfectly fried, still fresh. When you bite in, there's that nice little crisp, and then it's nice and juicy. It's not dried out at all. Overall, very well done. Okay, so something cool about Tacubaya is that it's actually one of Mexico's oldest neighborhoods. So this neighborhood's been around since the pre-Hispanic times. Not only that, it's one of 21 barrio mágicos. And in English, that's just a magical neighborhood. And what that means is that this neighborhood has historical, culinary, or cultural significance to Mexico City. Entonces, ¿qué tal estuvo Tacubaya antes? O sea, ¿cómo ha cambiado desde, digamos, hace 15, 20 años?
Pues Tacubaya se ha considerado como uno de los barrios más bravos de la Ciudad de México. Quitando Tepito y quitando Jalalpa, Tacubaya era considerado un barrio muy pesado, muy sonado por la alta delincuencia. ¿Por qué? Porque antes, acá en esta zona por el mercado de Becerra existía lo que es la CEPE, la ciudad perdida.
Ah, sí.
Entonces ahí creció mucha familia, mucha gente nativa de Tacubaya. La mayoría se dedicaban al hurto. Eran ampones, eran ladrones. En esta zona no podías pasar tranquilo porque fueron proliferando las cámaras del C5 para que tuvieran una mayor vigilancia. Y gracias a eso, pues al paso de los años ha disminuido un poquito la delincuencia. También pues ha crecido un poquito el comercio informal, los puestos callejeros que son muy particulares de Tacubaya, ya que es un punto obligado de las personas que bajan de Coajimalpa, que vienen del centro, que vienen del sur, para poderse mover. Es una especie de transición forzada o exacta, ya que pues esta es la entrada principal de Toluca, del centro, del sur. Es como que una mezcla, llegamos de muchos estados, la mayoría de Chiapas, Toluca, Veracruz, e incluso desde Jalisco, de Michoacán, o sea, muchos llegamos aquí. ¿Quién sabe por qué en nuestro país es muy famoso Tacubaya? Pero muchos les gusta llegar aquí, muchos, en serio.
¿Y hay una razón por la que decís?
¿Quién sabe? A lo mejor sí es eso la fama, ¿eh? Yo te puedo decir que a lo mejor sí es la fama, pero o sea, sí es como que un lugar económicamente muy fuerte. Porque es como te digo, es un paso obligado. Mira, llegan camiones de acá arribita, llegan camiones del centro. Son 3 líneas del metro, sí, las que convergen aquí, y una del Metrobús.
Es un lugar bien centro.
Ajá, aquí hay una convergencia de gente y una sinergia, o sea, se mueve mucha gente, se expande gente, o sea, es tremendo Tacubaya.
El barrio está cambiando en el sentido que como precio, de renta.
La expansión urbana, pues fíjate, los nativos de aquí han ido poco a poco desapareciendo, ya que pues el cambio generacional pues ha provocado de que tengan que emigrar de esta zona. Muy pocos nativos de aquí, los que crecieron desde su niñez de Tacubaya. Ya sabes, la mayoría pues ya son avanzados de edad, y de sus hijos pues van abriéndose a otras partes. ¿Por qué? Porque pues los dueños de predios, lugares, por ejemplo, te platicaba de la CP, la Ciudad Perdida. Bueno, ese lugar, para que me entiendas o para que te des una idea, era una cuadra donde existían vecindades. O sea, era todo un nido de gente, o sea, amontonada, al fin de cuentas amontonada. Y el propio gobierno fue implementando programas de vivienda para modernizar esos lugares. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que pasó? Pues le dijeron a las personas que vivían ahí, ¿sabe qué? Vamos a modernizar este lugar, requerimos que se vayan de aquí. Derrumbaron esos lugares, la CP, te digo el más famoso, y en este lugar están edificando edificios habitacionales, modernidad pues. Es al lado de Becerra, al ladito del viaducto, aquí arribita al ladito de la avenida Observatorio, o sea, han metido más urbanización. ¿Y qué es lo que pasa? Pues llega gente de fuera, la gente nativa pues se está perdiendo. Entonces, hablando un poquito de eso, Tacubaya, por parte de su gente nativa, está perdiendo un poquito de identidad.
Por los rentas están subiendo y por la construcción de edificios modernos.
En ese punto tienes mucha razón. ¿Por qué? Porque la gente que ya no puede costear sus rentas aquí en La Condesa, que es una colonia vecina, pues está viniendo para acá. ¿Y qué es lo que hace la gente? Pues elevar las rentas, porque pues esa gente de allá es gente adinerada, ¿no? O sea, sí. Gente que sí te puede pagar una renta de 10 o 12 mil o hasta de 20 mil pesos. Sí. Y pues la gente nativa está siendo desplazada por eso, ¿no? Sí. Tacubaya se está quedando un poquito sin esos personajes de identidad.
Hay un cierto orgullo de ser de Tacubaya. ¿Qué significa ser de Tacubaya?
Ser Tacubaya, por ejemplo, los que sí son nativos de aquí, siempre ha representado un orgullo, un nombre, como decimos aquí en la Ciudad de México, un nombre que tira paro. O sea, tú vas allá a otra colonia aledaña, a Jalalpa, o en el centro, o hasta en el Estado de México, dices, pues es que yo soy de Tacubaya. Y dices, luego te ubico en Tacubaya. ¿Por qué? Pero es que es un nombre o un barrio que tira paro, o sea, que como que te escuda, que te hace sentir, pues yo crecí en un barrio bravo, ¿no? Eso yo lo he visto y considero que es así con ellos
¿Les da miedo un poco? ¿O?
Por la mala fama que tenía
antes, el nombre.
¿no? Entonces es un nombre o es un barrio que tira paro, ¿sí? Para la mayoría de los que fueron nativos de aquí. Hablando de eso, déjate platico un poquito más de Tacubaya. La identidad de esas personas de hace años proviene más que nada de gente de aquí arribita, de la colonia aledaña, la colonia América, donde ahí radicaba una tribu urbana denominada los Panchitos. Los Panchitos Sex Pistols. Así eran conocidos por ahí de los años 70, 80, incluso todavía del principio de los años 90. Ellos eran muy conocidos y muy temidos en esta zona de Tacubaya. Dominaban desde la parte alta de Constituyentes, el Panteón Dolores, hasta esta parte de Tacubaya. Entonces era gente, vaya, muy reconocida aquí en Tacubaya, en la colonia aledaña que es la colonia América y la colonia Observatorio, la colonia Kobe, que son básicamente los vecinos fraternales de Tacubaya. Entonces eso de los panchitos, pues ese es un dato obligado para Tacubaya, para los que saben o quieren saber de Tacubaya, los panchitos. Más que nada es un lugar próspero económicamente, o sea, un lugar en el que nos gusta. Convivimos con mucha gente que es nativa de aquí y nos sentimos felices porque al final de cuentas se le puede llamar un barrio fraterno. Las personas nativas de aquí y las que ya llevamos muchos años sabemos convivir y la mayoría pues tratamos de no meternos en problemas. La mayoría de la gente que se dedica a hacer maldades aquí pues es gente ajena a Tacubaya, la mayoría, te puedo decir eso. La mayoría de la gente de Tacubaya es personas muy trabajadoras, muy trabajadoras. Los que sean nativos o los que no sean nativos de aquí son muy trabajadores.
¿Cómo describirías como la comunidad aquí?
La comunidad aquí, bueno, hablando por nosotros los comerciantes, suelen haber muchas facciones, pero en general cuando llega a haber necesidad de unirse los comerciantes, lo hacemos. Eso es muy cierto. Y en general a la población que vive aquí en Tacubaya, o sea, es lo mismo, o sea, es gente muy trabajadora, gente que no busca pleitos. A hoy en día no llama la atención porque tenga conflictos o porque haya asesinatos o porque haya cosas. Será por cosas aisladas, o sea, noticias más culturales que de conflictos. Porque Tacubaya al final de cuentas es un lugar muy cultural.
Y hay una frase bien famosa.
Sin que te digan, vaya a Tacubaya. Si no sabes, mejor ni vaya. Porque pues...
¿De dónde viene esa frase?
Uy, Master, ahí sí te fallo, porque es una frase muy conocida, muy hablada,
Ajá.
muy comentada y muy famosa. Pero sinceramente desconozco. ¿Para qué te invento? Pero yo me imagino que ya viene de muchos años, ¿no? Y
sí.
pues Tacubaya es bella. Tendrá sus lugares rotos, pero siempre va a ser bella.
All right, so that concludes our adventure for today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. If you have any recommendations for here in Mexico City, Mexico generally, or if you want to see me go anywhere in particular, let me know down in the comments. As always, a new video will be coming out in 2 weeks, and I will see y'all at the next adventure. Peace.